Right now, a country can run an American AI model on a Chinese server without a second thought. We are living in a fragile grace period where nations freely mix Eastern and Western technology. This environment has created a class of swing players, middle powers leveraging the AI Cold War between the US and China by entirely refusing to pick a side. Take Saudi Arabia. They are pouring billions of dollars into US frontier AI models while simultaneously tapping Chinese contractors to build out their physical infrastructure. The United States and China tolerate this arrangement because they rely on these intermediate markets for capital and supply chains. But this diplomatic balancing act operates on a rapidly closing window. The mechanics of this neutrality operate through a dual-track approach. Middle powers purchase the most advanced AI software and chips from the US, while relying on China's massive manufacturing base to construct the physical data centers. It is a strictly pragmatic calculation. Mixing these supply chains is the fastest and most cost-effective way for a nation to build sovereign compute, a totally localized national AI ecosystem. The global map currently allows these distinct paths to overlap. American digital innovation and Chinese physical scale merge directly inside these neutral borders. Japan and South Korea execute a similar strategy. They maintain strict, deeply entrenched security alliances with Washington, yet keep their economic supply chains heavily reliant on Beijing. This entire equilibrium depends on perfectly uninterrupted global trade. A single geopolitical shock will shatter the supply chains that make the dual-track system function. Before any political trigger is pulled, the underlying technology is already splitting apart at the engineering level. The United States ecosystem operates as an open network, driven by commercial innovation. China is constructing a sovereign, vertically integrated stack that relies on strict state control. This structural barrier is full-stack incompatibility. The US and China use competing hardware and software, like NVIDIA's CUDA versus Huawei's CAN. Plugging an American model into a Chinese server becomes physically impossible. On top of this, diverging data regulations form an impenetrable legal wall. The physics and code of future AI demand a unified ecosystem. The global network is primed to fracture, waiting only for a catalyst. The geopolitical catalyst that permanently shatters the dual-track strategy will likely be an escalation of tensions in the Taiwan Strait. A severe crisis there triggers an immediate global shockwave. The US deploys immediate export controls on advanced semiconductor nodes, prompting China's crippling retaliatory bans. The mixed supply chains supporting middle powers will collapse overnight. Digital borders will instantly militarize, accelerating the creation of a global splinter net. For any nation running a mixed tech stack in their 5G networks or military defense arrays, this sudden division becomes a dire national security threat. To keep their critical infrastructure online, these countries will face an ultimatum. They must physically purge either American or Chinese technology from their national systems. One focused event over Taiwan permanently outlaws technological neutrality for the rest of the planet. By the early 2030s, the operational window for balancing these two superpowers will slam completely shut. The globe will function as two parallel AI civilizations, legally barred and technically incapable of communicating or sharing data with one another. Both superpowers will enforce loyalty through intense economic coercion. They will deploy aggressive secondary sanctions and total technology export bans against any nation attempting to straddle the line. In this hardened environment, failing to decisively pick a side guarantees complete isolation from the future digital economy. Former swing players face a new map. Saudi Arabia aligns with the US ecosystem. Despite economic ties to China, Japan and South Korea's defense treaties pull them to Washington. Europe attempts an independent third way, but engineering pressure squeezes them into the American camp. Agile balancers like India and the UAE might hold out longer by leveraging their scale, but they will eventually pay massive premiums simply to maintain basic interoperability. Artificial intelligence serves as the foundational infrastructure of 21st century power. Middle powers must prepare their systems now, because when the rift tears open, those caught in the middle will be left behind.